Anoraniyan mahato mahiyan atma yasya jantor nihito guhayam tamakratu pashyati vita shoko dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmana. Subtler than the subtle and vaster than the vast is Atman, the unborn and undying consciousness hidden in the heart of man. Let us realize the majesty of this, our true nature, by controlling our desires and making our mind and senses tranquil. Then alone shall we be free from the sufferings of relative existence. We shall continue with our story of Upakoshala and Satyakama. We read that partly last time. You remember this beginning of that story, Satyakama. The story of Satyakama and his teacher was in the previous chapter. Then this chapter, Satyakama has grown older, he has become a teacher. And he has a student, many students. Of them, one was Upakoshala. And several other students graduated and they returned home with the blessings of the teacher. But Upakoshala was not given that privilege. He had to stay in the ashrama of the Guru, tending cows, getting firewood, chopping wood, and all those things. Guru Seva, Seva of the ashrama, service, and study, of course. He wanted to go home after finishing his course, but the teacher was refusing constantly. In this way, 12 years passed, and he was very much depressed. Then his wife, the teacher's wife, pleaded for him. How is it, sir, that all the other students have finished their courses and returning home, and this nice student, he is so obedient, so faithful, and you are callous to him. How is that? Please, give him this final permission, certificate, unwritten certificate, and allow him to go home. But the teacher did not respond to it. Instead, he said, I am going on a pilgrimage. The student was left there, and the wife of this teacher, she was a motherly lady, all ladies, wives of teachers were. And she said, what will happen? What has happened, you don't just fast. She was fasting. Then he said, no mother, I am very much depressed, no use, I am really impure, otherwise why should the Guru not give me his final instructions and all? He did not understand the Guru's mind. Guru was trying his patience. That was a preparation. He did not understand that. So for the time being he was very cross with his teacher, but he did not complain. He did not say the Guru is a rascal, as modern students say. He did not say that. He bore his agony, his suffering patiently. Then it so happened that the gods, the deities were watching also. As I mentioned in those days, this concept was there, and it was true. The universe was not a material universe. The universe, all the forces of nature were really pervaded and animated by spirit, by the universal consciousness. So all the natural forces were given that status of a deity. The sun was a god, the moon was a god, there was a god for rain, there was a god for storm, there was a god for energy. The idea was these are conscious forces. At the back of all these natural forces there is that universal consciousness appearing individually as these different deities. So some of these deities are watching, unseen by us, like invisible man. They are watching the plight of these sincere students, and they had compassion on him. So the Agni, the fire deity, Agni, in the household of those ashramas, there used to be sacrificial fire. That was a must, and that sacrificial fire was not allowed to go down. It was the duty of the students and the housewife to feed that fire, with firewood and all. They were called sacred fire. Because in those days, there was just as later on in Hinduism, there was this idea of these images came much later. But in the Vedic time, there was no such thing as image worship. The deities were there, but the deities were considered to be this idea. They are not material. See? So these hymns, invocations were chanted, but they were not represented by any kind of material image. So these in the household there used to be fire, three types of fire. One the morning fire, one the afternoon fire, noon fire, and one the evening fire. They had specific names, and so there was a special room for that. Just as in households there are shrines, meditation rooms, like that in those days there were this special place, a room for the sacrificial fire. So one of those fires, from that a voice came, a human voice, and that human voice gave this student to Upakoshala, son, listen to me, listen here. I am giving you a meditation on Brahman. If you practice this knowledge will lead your consciousness. You will have a partial experience of Brahman. So that meditation was given. We read that. That was Prana is Brahman, then Kang Brahma, Kang Brahma. The letter Ka, as I mentioned, has its first consonant, Ka. Its meaning, each letter has a meaning. And the meaning of the Ka is happiness. And the other letter Ka, the next consonant is Ka. All these letters in the Sanskrit alphabet are arranged according to the region from which they are pronounced. They are arranged in the group of 5. Similar sounds and coming from the same place of this whole head. Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga. These are called the first 5 consonants. Then Cha, Cha, Ja, Jha, Nya. Next 5 consonants. Then Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. The third set of 5 consonants. The next 5 is Ta, Tha, Da, Dha, Na. Then the next 5, Pa, Pa, Ba, Bha, Ma. Ma is the end, Ma sound. In this way all the consonants are arranged according to some are produced from the head, some from the throat, some from the teeth, some from the lips. For example, the last 5 you can see for yourself. Pa, Pa, Ba, Bha, Ma. The lips have to be touched. And when you pronounce the last consonant ma, you have to completely, you have to, the lips are closed, ma, ma. So, that is why it is used for the pronunciation of Om. We have discussed this point. A, U and Ma becomes Om. So the first consonant Ka, each of these letters has a meaning. Ka means happiness, Ka means God, space. So the fire god said that this practice, this meditation, first he said prana is Brahman, life, the life energy that is functioning in you. That is no meditate. This is a symbol of Brahman. Really speaking, you cannot meditate on Brahman. Brahman is infinite. Brahman is beyond your words, beyond your thought. You can experience Brahman, but you can never touch Brahman with your mind. You cannot touch Brahman with your words. If you want to touch Brahman, you have to be Brahman, because you are really Brahman. If you can remove the 5 coverings that are hiding Brahman, namely your body, your mind, your ego, your life principle, prana, and your causal state, that is called your bliss sheet. These are called the 5 coverings of truth. If you can remove these 5 coverings, you are really the Infinite Brahman. So you can be Brahman, but you can never know Brahman. As you are knowing this wall, as you are knowing your head, you are knowing these outside objects inside your thoughts, mind can objectify things. Mind can objectify thoughts, emotions, outside things, dreams, time, space. Mind can touch these things, because they are Vedantic language called drishya. Objects. Objects can, any object, each object is changing. No object is eternal. So all these changing objects, maybe matter, maybe energy, maybe thought, maybe emotion, can be touched by mind. And you can describe by words if you like. If you don't have any word for a particular thing, give it a name. So many new names we are giving to so many things. That you can do with reference to, with regard to objects. Outside objects, inside objects. In Vedantic language, that is called drishya, the object of perception. But Brahman is not an object of perception. He is eternal here, infinite consciousness. Your mind cannot touch it. Your words cannot describe it. If you want to describe Brahman, then you say, then how can I sing about Brahman? How can I love Brahman? How can I write a poem about Brahman? I have so much poetical genius, I want to write a book and get some royalty. If I cannot reach Brahman, I cannot describe Brahman, then what will happen? These problems come. I cannot sing, I cannot utter a prayer, I cannot meditate, all my spiritual life will come to a standstill. Do you think, is that the implication? When you say Brahman is indescribable? No, Upanishad says no, that is not the implication. If you want to do those things, you have to bring down that infinite Brahman some steps down, so that the invisible has to be visible. The invisible has to be visible. That is possible. Then that infinite Brahman becomes your God. The God whom you can describe. You can say God is the creator of this world. God is is love. God is my Father. God is my ruler. He is my master. There is no end to the words you can devote direct to God. You can write many books about God, many philosophies about God. That is possible, but not about the highest good of God. When God goes to his interior apartment, his bedroom, when the bedroom door is closed. If you want to see God, God has to come to the drawing room. And the drawing room, he wears many aprons. But in his interior room, he does not wear anything, he is nude. You see. So when God comes in the drawing room, he is our God. Then I can call him, you are my Father, you are my deliverer, you are my salvation, you are my rock, any number of things. See, all those hymns and prayers and philosophies and meditations, they relate to God. In Vedantic language, he is called Brahman with guna, attributes, saguna Brahman, God. Simple language God. He can be described, he can be meditated. So it is necessary, in order to reach the highest truth of God, in order to be Brahman, you need these things. You need to bring down that absolute to the level of God, so that you can meditate on him either without form, in the Christian way, the Buddhist way, the Hindu way, Islam way, any number of ways you can meditate. You can write his glories, you can sing anything you like. God has become objectified. God has become objectified. The same God, he who was the infinite, invisible, indescribable. For your sake, he has come down and you can meditate on him. So these meditations are necessary for our spiritual growth. The culmination of our spiritual growth is to know that highest truth of God, the highest truth of man is the same. The visible man with the five coverings. When the five coverings are gone, man is invisible. Man is infinite. Man is absolute. Man is one with that same truth, Brahman. There is no difference between the highest truth of God and the highest truth of man. So these meditations are prescribed. In this case, meditate on Brahman. He is happiness. He is calm. What kind of happiness? Calm. Not ordinary happiness. Not the happiness of eating, not the happiness of this or that, but infinite happiness, like the infinite space. That is the meditation. Mind can do that. Mind cannot think of many things together. That is why mind has to be given exercise. This is one exercise of meditation given to the mind. Mind wants to wander and wander and wander. So these sages, these Upanishads, this exercise of meditation. This is a wonderful meditation related to your normal experiences. Everybody knows what space is, infinite space. Everybody knows what happiness, pleasure is. Now when you come to meditate on God, make use of those experiences, but add something more. Don't think that Brahman is the happiness, the joy of sex, the joy of ice cream. Brahman is this much. Happiness that is infinite. Infinite happiness. No limitation to that happiness. Just as space is infinite, so there is a happiness, a natural happiness, which is in other places, this happiness, this joy of Brahman, the bliss of Brahman has been elaborated in many ways. The basic foundation of everything is Brahman, and you can meditate as that happiness. That will make you happy. If you just meditate Brahman as something dark, it does not make you glad. Because happiness, joy, is such a welcome experience in our life. So when you try to think that Brahman is joy, Brahman is not just green, Brahman is joy, Brahman is happiness. We know happiness on many levels. Happiness of eating, happiness of this, happiness of that, happiness of talking with friends, happiness of sports, different kinds of happiness. But God, Brahman, is infinite happiness. All these little happinesses are included in that infinite happiness. There is such a thing. We must have faith, though we cannot perceive that happiness. Our happiness depends upon objective sense experience. The happiness that I derive by seeing the sweet face of my wife, the happiness that I derive by patting my dog, the happiness that I enjoy by eating in a particular restaurant. These kinds of happiness is well known to us. But that there is a happiness all inclusive and a basic, doesn't go, doesn't change. See, when we hear these things, they sound like fairy tales. But it is not so. So we have to, if we are earnestly seeking spiritual experience, we have to start with a grain of faith. These great teachers, they had experienced these Upanishads, the sages of the Upanishads, they had experienced this. So that is why we have to start with that faith. But it is a very bright picture. Because God is not somebody who is carrying a rod, punishing. God is something within my experience. Because I know what faith is, God is. I know what happiness is. Now I have to extend that experience of faith and experience of happiness, joy, pleasure. Infinite, unbroken, unconditional happiness. The happiness that does not depend on some object like ice cream or a man or a woman or a dog or a cat or a motor car. A basic happiness which is the foundation of everything. It is there all the time. Inside me, outside me. Just as space. Space is basic in our experience. Can you find out a place where there is no space? Go to the distant, remotest corner of this vast universe. There is space. Go to the planets, go to the nebulae, go to the galactic system. Millions, not merely miles, but light years. It is so vast that you cannot describe and comprehend by saying it is miles. What is miles to the vast universe? 186,000 miles per second is the speed of light. 1 second, light travels 186,000 miles, that distance. Now in astronomical calculation, we say light year. Light year means on that basis now calculate. In 1 year, how many seconds are there? I don't remember the figure. 1 second, 186,000 miles. Now, multiply that to the number of seconds in 365 days. That distance is called 1 light year. That is, the light traveling at that speed through one complete year. That distance covered is called the light year in astronomy, modern astronomy. Now that is the unit of distance. Just as our distance, sometimes our unit is millimeter or centimeter or yard. Now in astronomical study, light year is the unit of distance. Then when they say that distance, how far is that? You say 1 million light years. Can your mind conceive of that? But it is true. The scientists say it is true. It is true. Such vast is space. And then still staggering things, unbelievable things the scientists tell us. Now all these bodies, material bodies that are in space, namely the vast star systems, galactic systems, they are material, of course. But really speaking, the matter part, the mass is very little. Really speaking, this vast universe is mostly empty space. Between one star and another star, there is a vast astronomical distance, just empty. So they tell us that your so-called material universe matter is very little. very little. It is mostly empty space. See? So, that is the concept of space. Now this Upanishad says, space is so vast. And your Brahman, your God, is bliss, is happiness. That happiness is so great. So, it is like that infinite, the happiness like an infinite space. So say, Kang Brahma, Kang Brahma. Both have to be qualified. Ka is qualifying Ka. The happiness which is so vast like infinite space. Now the student, when he hears that, he is little confounded. So, again, the Guru in this case, the fire deity, Agni Deva, he says, don't think that I am speaking of physical space. Physical space is of course great, no doubt. But there is a greater space. There is a greater space, which is called the inner space. In your heart there is another space, consciousness. It can well liken to space because it is vast. Now that inner space, you can, in another place of this same Upanishad, when we shall come to the 8th chapter, we shall see a detailed discussion about this inner space. Now the inner space, so if you close your eyes, and think of this outside universe, this vast universe, can you do that? Surely you can do that. Nobody says, no, I cannot think of such vast thing. I can only think of 1 inch. That is not the case. This mind inside, this consciousness, can think of anything. Surely it can think of this vast universe. Surely it can, though by its reasoning it seems it is so difficult, but when opening our eyes, we can see this universe. The same thing we can do by closing our eyes. Closing our eyes, we can at once think of New York. I can at once think of as many things as I experience by opening my eyes. Who is doing that? Where all these things are happening? The Upanishad says that is in the inner space. The consciousness within, it is much vaster than your physical space. And further, in other places of the Upanishad, it has been said, that inner space, which is really our consciousness, that inner space is really projecting your so-called physical space. This vast universe of space-time is really grounded and centered in the inner space. My consciousness. Had there been no consciousness, you could not say that there is this vast universe. It is my consciousness which is holding anything that I experience, outside, inside. So this vast play, this vast drama of space, time and causation, whatever is happening, when we develop that self-intuition, we can at once see. We cannot see that truth because of our body consciousness, our complete identification with this body. That is why we cannot see and feel and know this self-evident truth. This truth is so simple that when these prejudices and the biases and attachments are gone, it is self-evident that the vast universe is really me. Me means what? Not this body, but that real me, that real self, which is that light of consciousness. In that light of consciousness, there is space. There is anything. There is a mountain, rivers, men, women. My body. My body is a particle in that infinite truth which is my true self. But we are so perverted due to our ignorance, we think that inner self or mind is inside my body. See? Really speaking, when you are conscious of your body, when you are saying this body, you have to have consciousness first, then your body. But we don't see this self-evident, simple truth. We say, where is consciousness? Where is consciousness? Where is consciousness? See, in order to perceive your body, in order to know that you are this body, consciousness. Consciousness is self-evident. It is not coming from anywhere, it is not going from anywhere, all the time it is there. First consciousness, then space, then time, then your body, then your problems, then your ego, then your life, your death, your suffering, your happiness, your salvation. Everything is coming after that. See, we have to go back to that point. See, that is called the process of negation. These five covering mercilessly, at least in the time of meditation. See, at least in the time of meditation, mercilessly we have to remove this covering. To stand on my true self. That is my home, my eternal home. In that home, there is no birth, there is no death, there is no body, there is no desire, no problem, no ignorance, nothing, no words. That is the home, that is the true me. That is called the inner space. And for the time being, for the sake of meditation, this simple exercise is given. Try to think that Brahman is the most precious value in our life. What is that? Joy. Anything, everything that we are doing, it is for our joy, for our self-satisfaction. We eat for our joy, we marry for our joy, we beget children for our joy, we build a home for our joy, we study for our joy. See? Joy is the fundamental motive, the great value which is keeping us here. Joy, pleasure. I am sitting here, if I am not comfortable, I change my position. I am always seeking joy. Standing, walking, sleeping, eating, fasting, meditating. Anything that I do for my self-satisfaction. I like that. I like that. I like that. If I do not like something, I am prepared to do anything. If somebody I do not like, I am prepared to kill him. For my sake, for my joy. See, joy is such a value, the most precious value in my life. It does not need any philosophy to teach to. Everybody knows this. Now the sages of the Upanishad meditate on this as God. But that joy, God is not your little joy. He is the basic, infinite joy, which is there. Don't think it has to be important. It is there all the time. It is there. Now meditate as far as you can. That infinite joy, just as the vast space, but there is an inner space. In that infinite joy cannot really it is inside. But all the other joys that you see around you, outside, they are really particles of that infinite joy elsewhere. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it is said that infinite self, all the pleasures, all the joy and happiness and satisfaction that we see are just particles, minute particles of that infinite joy which is the self. So this exercise is given. Meditate on God as infinite joy, like this vast space, knowing that really speaking, that space is your inner consciousness. Very vast. That inner space is really projecting your outside space. And Brahman is bliss. Unbroken, infinite, unlimited bliss. Meditate on that. Keep the mind. Give the mind this lesson. mind is all the time collecting meditations. Meditation from the stores, meditation from catalogs, meditation from the bar. All the time the mind is collecting new thoughts, new ideas, new experiences. Now give the mind this new thought, this new idea. Tell your mind, at least for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Mind can do that. Mind has that ability to expand and to think. The mind can think of an atom. The mind can think of a star. So give this exercise, that is called meditation. See? So this meditation is given. Kang Brahma, Kang Brahma. Then after that, this fire god, the deity, continued some simpler. See, because this is really very high to all comprehensive joy. So is coming, some simpler meditation is also given. Earth, food, fire, sun. All known experience, everybody knows earth. But everybody knows earth as something to be exploited. Everybody knows food which can be ingredients and vegetables you buy from the store, you cook and you eat. That is food, that much. Fire, we know fire, we can light it, the candle flame or electric fire or gas fire, that much. We know only the surface of things. But we do not know that the back of the surface material expressions, there is a spiritual reality, there is a vastness. So if you want to know Brahman, you cannot allow your mind to remain just little. Your mind has to learn to comprehend higher and higher, subtler and subtler things. The same food you eat brings an aspect of divinity in food. Try to think that this food which is nourishing my body, nourishing the body of my children, my wife, my grandmother, my dog, my cat, that food, where is this energy coming? The nutrition from food. Millions of living beings are depending on food. Go to a zoo. Watch all animals gaping mouth. The tiger is gaping his mouth for food, showing his big teeth. The snake is gaping his mouth to catch a frog. All animals, all beings want food, hungry. See, so food is such a great thing. Food is not just what you are eating on your table. Bring this metaphysical truth about truth. It is true. If you want to be little, then be satisfied with a little plate breakfast and throw on the garbage bag what is left over. But when you are trying to eat, bring this contemplation on food. What wonderful thing is food. It came from the earth. It was a pumpkin, it was a goat, it was a corn, it was a cow's milk. All come from Mother Earth, indifferent and all stored with vitamins and proteins and carbohydrates. All nutritive power. This is food, and not merely the little food which is on my little plate. All food. At 8 o'clock, think of the millions of human beings eating their breakfast. Think of the millions of animals, tiny. In the morning, everybody has to have a dole of food. Dole of food. Think, expand your mind. The vast universe and the cosmic breakfast table. Sit on that cosmic breakfast table and think, hungry. Hungry living creatures. Men, animals, birds, bugs, the bacteria, all having food. What is this food? This vast thing, this vast power that is sustaining all life, all material bodies. See, so bring this idea of vastness and say it is God. It's God's power. God as food is nourishing all these living bodies. What a wonderful, if you can think of this for 5 minutes, the mind will expand. Mind will expand. So he says, meditate, food as Brahma. Annam Brahma. Annam, bring these vast ideas. So, he says, food, earth, this earth. This earth not just means 100 feet. Not that. Look, east, west, north, south. Earth. Look on the mountains, look on the rivers, look on the geographical map of the earth. This vast earth. This vast earth is we are earthlings. This is our home. At a certain moment we have to develop a cosmic identity. See, it is true that I am a part of this earth. This body is constantly a part of the earth. It came from the earth and constantly it has to be nourished and supported by Mother Earth. Things that come out of the earth. So the earth is really my true home. And I am a part of this earth, this vast earth. And not merely me, millions of living beings like me are functioning on this earth and they are disappearing and again others are coming. See, this is. So this vast earth for the time being, you can meditate on the earth. If somebody gives me a banana, I am grateful to him. Oh, you gave me a banana yesterday when I was hungry. Should we not be grateful to this vast earth? Who is sustaining millions of living beings all the time. See? So, is it a superstition to call this Mother Earth? Mother is a goddess. It is divine. Such vast power, such vast compassion, such grace. So he says, meditate on earth as Brahman. See? Meditate on earth as Brahman. That is earth, food, fire. Fire means all this energy, the source of energy that is coming from all available. That also, energy is so important in our life for this functioning. So this energy, this cosmic energy, all the totality of all energy, try to think this is Brahman. And sun, the great sun, which is sustaining life all the time, giving us light and heat. It is a symbol. Try to meditate. This is also manifestation of Brahman. So this simpler meditation based on our everyday experience is all these that you worship are forms of Brahman. They are forms of Brahman. He who is seen in the sun, that one am I. Try to bring this meditation. That is the basic relation. I am bound. I am bound to everything. I am here functioning. I am bound to the earth. I am bound to the oceans. I am bound to the mountains. See, I am a part of this cosmos. So I am bound. So when you are looking at the sun, try to feel that the sun is constantly sustaining my life. The sun, the solar energy, the light. So try to feel the identity with the sun. These meditations. He who dwells in the east, in the north, in the west, and in the south. He who dwells in the moon, in the stars, and in water. That one am I. See, you remember in the previous chapter when Satyakama, his Upakosala's teacher, received meditations from different deities. They were, so this is a sort of combined, all those ideas also are here. In other words, this nature, don't look upon this nature as something material and inert to be exploited. This nature is really the reflection of God, reflection of the infinite spirit. So through these segments of nature, try to meditate on that cosmic spirit. That is why the directions, the east, the south, the west, dwells in water, that one am I. He who dwells in the sky and makes the lightning his home, that one also am I. In other words, try to feel your instead of identifying yourself with this little body, extend your identity. Try to feel that I am a part of this whole universe. I have a free ticket everywhere in this universe. I have a free bus ride. I am a senior citizen. I have a free bus ride to everywhere. To the moon, to the sun, to the planets, to the depths of the ocean, to all animal kingdoms. Bring this. In meditation one can do that. In meditation, because you are really a free spirit. You are really not this miserable body of flesh and bone. Inside you are really great, you are really cosmic. So at this time of meditation, try to bring that feeling of freedom. That if you like, you can go to the sun, you can go to the moon. Try to feel an identity, your home, not merely here, but in all planets, everywhere in the vast universe, I am there. Not my little body, but my real me, that infinite in me, that infinite me has access everywhere. See, this meditation. He who dwells in the sky and makes the lightning his home, that one also am I. Know well the true nature of the world, that it may never do you harm. If you know that this world is not this material world, essentially it is spirit, and you are also spirit. The more you know that, you will feel attunement and communion with everything. You will know that the whole world is my friend, I am one with everything. That experience will come more and more. Thereupon the fire, which had been only an earthly fire, with which to prepare sacrifice, assumed a new aspect. That fire began to glow and became more and more a conscious element. He felt, this student, Upakosala, felt that it was not that physical fire which I was feeding every day. It has a personality. It is something living. See? He began to feel that. The fire which had been only an earthly fire with which to prepare sacrifice assumed a new aspect and became the Lord himself. And he felt the presence of Brahman. The earth also. The earth was transformed. Life was transformed. The sun, the moon, the stars, the lightning, everything was transformed and deified for him. And thus it was that to Upakosala the true nature of all things was revealed. That the true nature of all things is spirit. That infinite consciousness, the light of all lights. This truth was revealed to him. In due time, Satyakama returned home. The Guru returned home. When he saw Upakosala, he said, "My son, your face shines like one who knows Brahman. Who has taught you?" You remember in the previous story, when Satyakama was a student, and he was sent to the forest to tend cows, and he returned, and he was instructed by other different deities. When he returned to the ashrama, and his guru, namely his name was Gautama. He also said the same thing. The same thing happened to him. Same thing happened to him. So when he returned to his last guru's ashrama, The Guru found some change has come to his face, as if he has known Brahman. So the same thing is happening to his own disciple. He learned this secret of training disciples. He himself had to go through that ordeal of living in the forest and tending to these cows. 300 or 200 cows have to become 1,000. And he did that with faith and devotion. And this is, Guru has told me to do this. This is the way of self-realization for me. He did not question. He had such abiding faith and reverence for the Guru, for the teacher. And when he became a teacher, he trained his disciples in this way. The other fellows who graduated, they are not ready for this. You see, they are eager to marry, So they returned home. But he knew this fellow, this fellow has some metal. So he waited and he tried his patience. Wait patiently. Things will happen. The Guru knew that. So when he returned home, he asked this question, my boy, your face is now, looks like the face of a knower, a Brahman. Who has taught you? No. Beings other than men, replied Upakoshala. Then said Satyakama, my son, what you have learned is true. True also is this that I teach you now. In the case of Satyakama, you remember, his guru, namely Gautama, he did not teach him anything new. Whatever was taught by the deities through these different media, his guru told him the same thing. He requested that though I have learned these meditations from the deities, but you are my guru, you please tell me, teach me. Then he taught him the same meditations. You remember, we read that. Now in this case, his guru, Satyakama, he tells his student Upakoshala, I will teach you something more. Then said Satyakama, my son, what you have learned is true. True also is this that I teach you now. Look. Lo, to him who knows it shall no evil cling, even as drops of water cling not to the leaf of the lotus. Just as the lotus leaf, if you put water, the water won't moist the lotus leaf, the water will roll away. If you do not believe this, wait till June, when our lotuses come, and go to the pond and take some water and throw on the lotus, you will see. So he said, this teaching which I will teach you now, if you can comprehend that, now you will really learn detachment. You will live in this world, everyday world, which is so full of distractions, temptations and all. But you won't be touched by anything. Like lotus leaf, untouched by water, you will be able to live in this world. Nothing will be able to blemish you. It's a wonderful attainment. So this I will teach you. So another meditation. We shall take that up next week. But the merit of that meditation, if you can comprehend that, then you will see that you will learn complete detachment. Nothing will be able to blemish you. You will retain your purity, your joy, even though surrounded by all trying circumstances and temptations and all, nothing will be able to affect you. So he will tell that instruct that meditation. We shall take that up next week. Om apyayantu mamangani bhak pranaschakshuhu Shrotram matho balam indriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahmopanishadam maham brahma nirakutyam ma brahma nirakarot anirakaranamastu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishadsu dharmas te mai santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the different limbs of my body be strong. May my speech, vital energy, eyes, ears and all the senses be purified. All indeed is Brahman as taught in the Upanishads. May I never deny Brahman, nor Brahman me. May there be unbroken communion between Brahman and myself. May all the virtues described in the Upanishads belong to me, who am devoted to self-knowledge. Yea, may they all belong to me. Oh, peace, peace, peace.